Thank you both very much. The Great Recession, I think, is still being felt, especially up here in northern Minnesota, where the recovery hasn't been quite as quick as perhaps elsewhere. What should the Senate be doing, or what could Washington be doing to spur and encourage economic development and economic recovery, especially up north here? Senator Franken, let's begin with you, please.
Well, we've had 54 straight months of private sector employment increases, but it's not going to the middle class. And part of that is because this is kind of a top-down economy, and a lot of this economy is rigged, frankly. Companies offshore. They make their corporation in Ireland or in Bermuda. They do inversions. We need to focus on the middle class, because 70% of our economy is consumption. And when people have money, that's when businesses hire people, is when people are spending money. So that's why I'm so focused on this skills gap. 3+ million jobs sitting there. And they can be filled if these jobs are, if these people are trained. And it'll make us more globally competitive. It'll get people's jobs. This is win-win. We also need, there's $1.2 trillion sitting out there in student debt. Refinance student debt. Let people refinance their student debt. You can refinance your car loan, you can refinance your home loan, you can refinance a business loan. Why not be able to refinance a car loan? Raise the minimum wage. Why can't you refinance a student loan? You know, people are delaying buying a house. People are delaying starting a family because of the student debt. And it's not just young people, it's people into their 40s. It's parents and grandparents that are carrying this. I've introduced a bill in the Senate. We got 3 Republican votes. We can get this done. Just allow people to refinance their student loans and put that money into the economy.
Thank you, Mr. McFadden.
Here are the facts. Ever since Senator Franken took office, and President Obama, who Al Franken has voted with 97% of the time, we have had the slowest rebound from a recession in the history of the United States. That's a fact. We have an absolute stagnant economy. In Minnesota, wages have only gone up $8 a week over 6 years. That's not acceptable. It is not acceptable. Here's another fact. The federal debt has gone up 70% under Al Franken's watch to $17.5 trillion. I have a plan. It's the 3 E's. It's energy and mining. It's education, and it's effective government. I will get the mines open. That's a huge game changer here. I will get pipelines built. Senator Franken said, well, we're only talking about the Keystone Pipeline. We're not just talking about the Keystone Pipeline. We're talking about the Sandpiper, the High Prairie, the Alaskan, the Alberta Clipper, the Line 4, and many, many more if we start getting this review process accelerated. We need people that are going to go to D.C. that are going to get things done. And I'm glad you brought up education, and I couldn't agree more with you, Al, that we need to match skills with jobs. But I got to tell you something. You've sat on the Education Committee for the last 6 years. And in Minnesota, we have great public schools that we can be really proud of. But unfortunately, we don't have great public schools for everyone. In fact, we have the worst outcomes in the country for minorities. We have the lowest graduation rate for Hispanics, the second lowest for African Americans, graduation rate significantly below 50%. That is immoral. Where is the moral outrage on that? I've been involved in an inner city school in one of the toughest neighborhoods where 90% of our kids are Latino or African American, and we have a 100% graduation rate, and we do it for 60% of the cost. I want to radically change the school system in the inner city so all children, regardless of zip code, have the right to a first-class education.
Senator Franken, a 1-minute rebuttal. The issue is economic recovery.
Well, by some measures, it's been the slowest recovery from a recession. It was called the Great Recession for a reason. This is the worst recession that we have ever had. But we've had 54 months of private sector growth in jobs. Yes, so much of the income has gone to those at the top, and that's a big problem. CEO salaries now in the 50s, in the 60s, the ratio of a CEO to an average worker was 20 to 1. It's now 300 to 1. We have a top-down economy. You want someone who's going to be fighting for those in the middle and those striving to be in the middle. We need to raise the minimum wage. We need to make sure that women are paid equal for equal work. Those are things that Mr. McFadden is against. We need 560 Minnesotans, 560,000 Minnesotans would benefit from refinancing student loans. We need to do that.
1 minute, Mr. McFadden, if you'd like.
Al, you've been in Washington for the last 6 years with President Obama, who you've supported 97% of the time. You don't have a plan. I just listened to it. That is not a plan.
What was that number?
97% of the time.
Let me write that down or I'll forget it.
99% of the time. I have a plan to get this country back onto the road of growth and prosperity. I've traveled around this great state. I've been to all 87 counties in the last year. Have you been to 87 counties in the last year?
I have had over 1,300 public
Have you done
meetings.
a town hall meeting since elected? I believe President Obama has done more town halls than you have in this state.
I have done so many public meetings in which people have the chance to ask questions. I have a Minnesota breakfast in Washington every Wednesday that your son came to, and St. Thomas, and they asked the question they was asked, and it wasn't surprisingly kind of hostile.
Don't listen to what he says. Look at his actions. I was at the University of Minnesota last week. We were supposed to debate. Senator Franken decided he didn't want to debate. He showed up, spoke, and left. I stayed there for an hour. I did a town hall. I took multiple questions. I was there for an hour with college students. I love doing that. You got to go out and listen to the people. People know this economy is not working. Young people know that. That's why I'm winning with millennials. They want jobs. I will create the jobs. I have a plan.